All right, guys, let's talk about Gannon Buhr. He's just recently announced a 3-year contract with Discmania. Trey, I mean, this is exactly what we expected, right?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. This is totally what we thought was going to happen. It was going to happen last season. The lawsuit with Prodigy ended that, but I guess after a season, all the wrongs have been righted, and Gannon is where he wants to be, and that's Discmania.
He is. He used the quote, "I'm where I belong." And there's a video that you should definitely go watch if you haven't looked into some of the media, and it goes over some of his general history. But Gannon historically has thrown tons of discs. He's just a disc fanatic in general, and he's thrown Discmania historically. And so I think he's excited to be back throwing Discmania. I mean, obviously this is a different Discmania than probably he threw growing up because of the change between Innova manufacturing it and whatnot. But he's got a 3-year deal, and I think everybody's absolutely stoked to see what Gannon Buhr can do in the next 3 years with Discmania. I'm assuming you would agree with that, Trey?
Oh, absolutely. I'm stoked to see what Gannon does with Discmania. I was watching his like preliminary in the bag video earlier, and he just seems excited about the plastic. He's like you said, a plastic fanatic, and loves certain molds with Prodigy. Honestly, had some honest problems with Prodigy, but it seems like he harped on the consistency of the plastic with Discmania. And so it's just exciting to see him get this opportunity to be where he wants to be. And we're assuming, huge contract. But something that we notice in this contract is that it's a 3-year deal, which is a little different from a lot of the top players who have signed these longer-term deals. Ricky's was 4 years, and then Simon and Paul both signing 10-year deals. Thomas, what's your thoughts on that, on him taking a shorter-term deal?
Yeah, I agree. This is interesting, and I think it makes the most sense historically. So his most recent deal with Prodigy, he extended in January of 2022 for a 2-year contract. That's the one that we saw about 12 months ago on the dot almost, when Gannon right upon the All-Star event basically says, "Oh, I'm not with Prodigy anymore." Everybody's confused as to what he's going to throw that day. People are trying to see what putter he's tossing. And then we see this lawsuit come in, and it's related really to, we can talk about the plastic consistency and whatnot, but at the end of the day, Gannon is there for the money, and Gannon can win with whatever he throws with. And so that's based on his valuation, and Discmania had recently lost Simon Lizotte to MVP, and we all assumed Discmania is going to use some of that contract and buyout money. I believe $1 million it was. Is that right, Trey?
Yeah, that's right.
That would make sense to use for Gannon Buhr, and Discmania's probably been sitting on this money for a period of time, and Gannon is hesitant. I have to assume he wants a shorter contract, because that was the problem with the Prodigy deal. It's a 2-year contract. His career has progressed at an insane measure. Now, don't get me wrong. I mean, you and I both know Gannon Buhr is an insane disc golfer, and has been for a long time.
Yeah, he's top 5, if not top 3.
Yeah, so there's no doubt in our mind that he has been great, but the last year, really 2 years ago, that season, he crushed it. It was absolutely insane. He goes and wins the United States Disc Golf Championship in crazy fashion, becoming the youngest person to win USDGC, just behind the good old local Will Shoestrick. And so, Gannon's definitely going to be hesitant to sign a long deal, because who knows if he's 18 right now. Is that right? Is he 19?
I think so.
So, he's got a ton of opportunity over the course of the next 3 years to be 3 times as valuable. I don't know. What are your thoughts on where Gannon could be 3 years from now?
That's exactly right. He is betting on it, and he's betting on the trajectory of disc golf continuing to grow in the way that it is. We've seen now 2 7-figure deals. We have to assume, there's not numbers out on this one, but we have to assume that this is a very lucrative deal for him to leave Prodigy to come to Discmania. But what he's saying, he's betting on himself, saying, I'm going to prove myself. I'm going to prove that I am worthy of these 7-figure, potentially the biggest contract in disc golf history in the next few years. And so I think it's wise to take that risk, especially when you're much younger. You know, you've got the Simon and the Paul taking these long-term deals, and they're securing their future. It's a great contract for them because they're, you know, in their 30s. They're not spring chickens anymore, and they wanted to secure their future. Where in this case, Gannon's betting on his future, which I think makes total sense.
I would agree completely. The one thing that Gannon needs to do more of in the next 3 years, outside of just winning, which he's already doing. I mean, he's not at a lack of that. Sure, Gannon wants to win like a world championship, but he needs to really push the social media presence in the next 3 years. And this is a just lucrative opportunity to do that. Like if we're talking like, you know, Eagle at 75,000 subscribers, Simon at like 200,000, I think that's where he's going to build his long-term brand identity. And I think a lot of what he does right now is sits and is present on, say, an Alden Harris vlog style video, but he really needs to start pushing out more of his own content on YouTube. And I think that alongside some play can make for just an absolutely unimaginable future in terms of sponsorship possibility. Would you agree with that?
Oh, for sure. It'll be neat to see how he grows his brand with Discmania. It seems like Discmania has been a place that has encouraged that. As you can see, their two most prominent players of all time are two of the most like followed on YouTube. And so I don't know if Discmania has as much to do with that as Simon and Eagle being Simon and Eagle, but it does seem at least like there's opportunities with Discmania to grow your brand. They desire for you to grow your brand. Mm-hmm. Even having discs that they're, you know, they're molds that get personal names for their signature series, like Eagle having the Cloudbreaker DD3s and Simon getting his discs. I mean, Sky Gods, there's several different ones that both of them had. But Gannon's going to get an opportunity to do that, which was not coming at Prodigy. And so
definitely.
So I think this is perfect for him. I think he's in a perfect spot, and it'll be exciting to see him throw in a new bag this year.
Yeah. Do you have any other comments before we call it a wrap on the little Gannon Buhr segment for you all today?
No, I think that's all I had.
No, that's perfect. And if you all have enjoyed this video, just a short little breakdown, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Go follow us on Instagram. Check out our TikTok. We really appreciate it. Trey and I are crafting up a little giveaway now that we've crested the 100 subscriber mark, but we'll post a more formal one later. Is that good with you, Trey?
Yeah, it's perfect. Thank you, subscribers. If you have not subscribed, please do so. It really helps us out a lot, and it shows us, and you can have more say-so on what kind of content we're putting out, and it just helps our brand a lot. So we really appreciate it.
Awesome. We appreciate it, y'all. We'll catch y'all on the next one.